Hello and welcome to Sword and Board Presents. The board will be with you always. As always, is my best friend Matt here with me. Tonight's feature is Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Synced up. I'll read off some dialogue, so you know, or read off some of the text scrawl in just a minute, and that'll get you synced up to what's going on. Matt's about to press play, so we will get you taken care of in just a minute. As always, this is not a normal podcast, so if it's not your cup of tea, totally understand. We will catch you next time with another actual podcast. But Matt, press play. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. I also love how this movie just starts.
Yeah, that sting was perfect. Mm-hmm. It was a perfect sting.
It's very different than other Star Wars movies.
You know, yeah, I agree. I agree with that for sure. I know I was just about to say, I think we've said that about the last couple of ones because these have all been like, you know, not the mainline films.
Mm-hmm. So. Well, I don't know the last time.
Very pretty.
Sorry.
I was going to say very pretty movie.
Yeah. Well, that's something that Star Wars has always had, is, you know, being pretty.
I wouldn't say Solo was very pretty.
No, Solo was kind
of
needed.
Interesting. Yeah. This one is not, you know, I can actually see what's going on.
It feels very Star Wars. Very 70s Star Wars, which I like. And, like, everyone has mustaches. Everything looks used.
Oh, this one? Yeah. Everyone got the disco stash. Don't you just love, like, Mads Mikkelsen just showing up in just random movies? Because I always thought of him as this very serious actor. And I guess he is, but I just always think of him... He was in 13th Warrior, right?
No, he was not.
I want to he wasn't?
No, he should be.
Missed opportunity. I forget what I'm thinking of then. Oh, there was that...
King Arthur movie.
It was like... Yeah, and it was like Polar or something. I forget what it was. It was like he was like some assassin.
Mm-hmm.
That was more recent.
He does strike me as I am a serious man for serious movies, and then he does, you know, silly Star Wars movie.
Yeah, like you're almost convinced he's never laughed once in his life or smiled even.
Well, I just love how in the interview for this movie, like in an interview for this, he just cracked open an entire bottle of vodka and just started drinking it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which is just a power move. I have not seen this since I saw it in theaters, and I remember really enjoying this, and I don't remember much else about it. Apart from really cool set pieces. And
yeah.
They don't need to be walking in a line like that, but it's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean... This movie suffers from a lot of the same things the other ones we've talked about, but by and large, I do, like you said, I do enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
The good outweighs the bad, and of course, you know, we've talked about our low standards for Star Wars movies. This one, I think, is definitely above.
Agreed.
Above average. So.
I think it is one of the high points of the Disney ones.
I think it's a lot to do with like, and we'll probably talk about it once we get to the Rian Johnson film, where Disney's like, hey, you know, I'm gonna pick this almost random director to kind of have their own vision, but then come in at the last minute and completely, you know, flip it on its head a little bit, and it's still, you know, like Solo, and all the edits and all the nightmare you hear about. I think it's still not so bad. I think I would be still curious to see what it would have been like.
Absolutely.
Had it not had all the tampering. But
well, I mean, I would love to have seen Spielberg's Return of the Jedi.
That's right. I forgot about that. or no, it wasn't there. What's his name? Why can't I think of Twin Peaks guy?
David Lynch. Oh God.
Yeah, David Lynch was approached by George Lucas also to do, I forget if it was Return of the Jedi as well or something. And there's this hilarious clip on YouTube, you got to look it up, where he talks about his interactions with George Lucas and how George Lucas was giving him the pitch, and like how he just kept like getting like this ever increasing headache. It's just so funny. I couldn't imagine a David Lynch Star Wars.
I would love to. That's another one of those, like, would love to see. I love how
Jodorowsky's doing.
I love how Ben Mendelsohn, I think that's his name, the bad guy here.
It's Mendelsohn for sure. Yeah, I think it's Ben Mendelsohn for sure.
He's played so many characters in gray now, like in that in Ready Player One he played the bad guy who wore almost exclusively gray. In that weird Robin Hood Taron Egerton movie that rules, plays the sheriff also in gray. I guess he's got a corner, not a corner. He's cornered the market on bad guys in gray.
Yeah, isn't he Australian?
I think so.
Oh, I think he's Australian. He does a really good British accent.
The black sand and the grass is a really cool look.
Yeah.
I'm just really impressed with how it looks like an old, like, it's not, I guess it's the use of color, but it looks like it could have been made in the 70s.
Yeah, I think a lot of the set design, certainly the cinematography is minimalist, I guess, kind of like a lot of 70s and, sci-fi movies.
And it could just be that it's a cloudy movie. Like, there's every planet is covered in clouds.
That's fair, yeah.
Gots to sneak into my hideaway.
So, I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag now, but I'm surprised you don't hate this movie.
Really?
Because it completely erases the canon of Kyle Katarn.
I will say that when I first watched it, when I first heard about it, I'm like, okay, that's really frustrating because I've seen this story. That's Dark Forces, but I replayed Dark Forces, and it's not Dark Forces. It's just it's like the first minute and a half of the game, and it's a really well constructed and crafted movie. So I don't feel as I don't hate it because it actually works out well. I love how Star Wars has tried to make Saw Gerrera a thing.
Oh yeah, and all the cartoons and stuff. And was he in Rebels?
I don't know. I think he's in Rebels, but he's in Clone Wars, and he's like this super small dude. Like, he's not Forrest Whitaker. And then he shows up in oh god, what's that called? Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh yeah.
Playing like 5 years after his appearance in Clone Wars, and he looks like Forrest Whitaker. I'm like, wow, war is hell.
That's like Ewan McGregor to Alec Guinness, right? It's like, oh, in between you got a hairpiece.
God, I'm so excited for Obi-Wan.
I am too. Did you hear that they moved it back a little bit?
No, I didn't.
I want to say they moved it back a week, like a couple days or a week or something, and I forget why. But Ewan McGregor had this whole 5-minute YouTube video or something explaining why, and he's like, "It's okay. You'll actually get 2 episodes or something. Basically, the first 2 episodes will be available."
Okay, well that
or something. I don't know. Who knows?
I wish we got more set pieces in Star Wars like this that are just these weird alien space stations.
Yeah. I'm gonna, much like I have done throughout our other films that we've watched, and I'm gonna continue to do it and do it poorly, is I'm gonna say, like, kind of copy or at least mime or ape some of the stuff that I've heard other reviewers say. And I think I definitely agree that the thing that this movie suffers from the most is just the lack of character development, which I know, Star Wars movie, but
No, that
there was literally a 20 or 30 year time skip that just happened that we didn't even notice.
absolutely.
And Jen Erso has like no, and that's another thing. It's like, and I know a lot of films do this, but there was so many things from the trailers that didn't show up.
Mm-hmm. Like her in the
so many
Imperial armor.
and yeah, and her, doing her, I'm a rebel, I rebel, or whatever that speech was. And I don't know. I'm sure that and a few more things would have been pretty cool character development, because, yeah, this is like the first female-led, quote-unquote, I guess you could say it's female-led, right?
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars movie, right? I guess it is, other than, the new ones.
Right.
Which even those are a little debatable, because it's like the originals, it's an ensemble, but I guess you could argue Luke was the main character, but of the originals, I don't know what I'm saying. But
No, I agree with you on that one. And it's really, we're getting a Cassian show eventually, which will be cool.
Yeah, and that's another weird thing, is like they're doing all these things after the fact, kind of like what they did with Black Widow.
Yes.
And I don't know if this is Disney thing, but it's just like, cool, yeah, awesome, let's expand upon this character that, they didn't, we won't talk about what happens at the end of the movie.
Yeah. I gotta say, it is very jarring to see them put the name of planets.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like all the skipping between planets. I do like Jeddah, which is literally, I complain all the time, oh, another desert, another friggin' Tatooine, great. But this one actually has a little bit more character.
Yes, it's got mountains.
Despite it being, blown up. Despite it being blown up, in the next, 20 minutes or whatever.
Right. It's got mountains, and it's of course there are kyber crystals here because it's Jeddah.
Yes.
A little on the nose, but it is Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm not too beaten up about that. Really,
I never really thought about it. I'm probably just dense and didn't catch on, but yeah, now that you pointed it out, doy. Another thing is like, oh, he's an Imperial pilot, but it's like he's got like a top bun. It's Imperial regulation. Maybe he's been out of it a while. I don't know. Maybe he's from one of the backwater Imperial worlds.
I thought that's a super cool shot. Whoa, Bonnie.
Yeah. Another planet we're on for 2 seconds. Hey, look, man, a juggernaut.
I will say the quick flashes of names of things does give it a war film feel.
Yeah.
Well,
but
the whole movie does.
But Clone Wars does that so much better.
Sure.
And this is obviously, you read the Wikipedia, and it's like, oh, the inspirations are Apocalypse Now, and it's like, maybe in the end, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of just read it as kind of a moody, dour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It kind of has an Empire feeling, because everything feels like impossibly hopeless.
Yes.
Even at the end, even though there's a glimmer of hope at the end, it's like, oh, well, this is fucked,
Oh, shoveling.
Alan Tudyk.
I just love how that thing looks. It's such an alien-looking robot, and I really appreciate that.
Was it the 21B or the T, whatever the medical droid? It looks a little bit like the medical droid. Just a smidge. Not to take away from what you just said. I agree. But yeah, they definitely nailed Yavin. It's Juilliard's... I think it was Juilliard that Alan Tudyk went to. Juilliard trained Alan Tudyk.
I appreciate how he's become, voice actor of the stars.
Yeah, he was in that DC comic Harley Quinn show, wasn't he? As like King Shark or something. I forget what it was.
Mm-hmm. It's just such a crunchy movie. I can't get over that. That's the thing. It looks so old.
Well,
it looks so 70s sci-fi.
Yeah, that's looks lived into. And yeah, like you said, stash o'clock. I like how they're like building her up. She's like, "You're a badass," and it's like, "Oh, I'm glad you're telling me all this instead of showing me." I guess she did beat him up earlier, but
exactly. A pretty good Mon Mothma as well.
Yeah, and that was something I thought of is I, and we'll get to it, I'm sure, once we get to the Uncanny Valley. But I kind of wish they had done that for pretty much all of, the reoccurring or returning original cast that they couldn't get. They should have just gotten lookalikes, and that even goes for the ones that are still alive in that, on the show. Since
right,
just a personal preference.
Saw Gerrera? I don't know when I saw Gerrera.
Saw Gerrera, hardly know her.
God, we're terrible. I wish we got more accents in Star Wars. That we didn't just get English accents and American accents. And so it's nice seeing Cassian Andor have, be someone different.
Yeah, have
play something different.
Sexy Spanish accent, or
exactly.
Mexican accent. I think he's Mexican.
I believe so too.
Yeah, he does a really good job in this movie. It's good to just see, like you said, a little bit of diversity, because it is a big universe after all. You don't just have the big huffy aliens that don't speak English, and then the pasty British person in the corner.
And then Thrawn.
Thrawn.
That would be... It's funny, I've never read any of the Thrawn books. I barely know anything about him other than he likes art.
I don't know how I know you. I don't know how we can be friends, Lucas, with you. I've read every Timothy Zahn Star Wars book, except I'm barely pushing my way through the most current one because it's not as exciting. But yeah, he's one of those characters that just, despite everything, all the stuff with Disney and everything, he's just a persistent character that luckily is stuck around. So they've reintroduced him in the canon, obviously, and
right.
Yeah, I think me and many other
Jimmy Smits.
Glad he's still getting some work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if they ever were to introduce him in a live action format, I think I would cream my pants. He was in the Rebels, but I never, and that's the whole reason I started watching it, and I just couldn't get to, I think it's season 2 or 3 or something, and I'm just like, I can't do this.
I think he's played by actually, I legitimately think he's played by Mads Mikkelsen's brother.
Hey, there you go.
In Rebels. I like that even the droids have vague stormtrooper armor.
Oh, yeah, they just have a little. It's just some designer somewhere in the Empire from many moons ago that's like, I really like that friggin' beveled kind of flat look on the front. Oh.
What's really interesting about this movie is no one is particularly good looking, and I don't mean that like necessarily anyone is bad looking, but they're not like John Boyega is a very handsome man. So is Oscar Isaac.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure Donnie Yen is a hottie. And I'm just
Oh yeah, I forgot about Donnie. Yeah, no, but it again, it goes back to that '70s feel, is that they've even got a corded headset right there.
Yeah, everyone just never shaves, and they've got the nasty bucket hair, unwashed bucket hair. It's like my greasy sports coat. I'll be honest, like his quips, like the robot quips, are not bad, and they're actually
No.
done okay. But I completely forgot about them, or I don't even notice them for some reason, because maybe I've just calloused over and I just gotten so used to quippy robots in Star Wars movies that they just don't faze me anymore.
Yeah, the headsets give it like a helicopter feel and make it more like a war film. I do kind of love that they just made a brand new ship that happened to be at Yavin that never showed up at Yavin, at the Battle of Yavin.
Clocked them going over 65 miles per hour. Oh yeah, and I didn't even know the little things move forward when it goes to light speed. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Is he meant to be like a heroic Darth Vader? Is that what we're supposed to go with? Are supposed to?
I don't know. He's kind of like
He's mostly
insane. I think that's.
He's a little insane. He's got the robot parts. He's got the breathing issues.
Well, I always thought like that whole parallel was meant to be between Luke and, because there's a whole moment, right, where he sees his face in Vader's helmet and then his hand and all that stuff, but I don't.
No, it absolutely, yeah.
But
I just meant right here. Like that's the feeling I thought we were supposed to get.
I got more of like a pirate with a peg leg.
Oh, I can see that.
Or whatever that stupid Davy Jones is from the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean or whatever.
Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this guy's got the whole breathing thing.
And it even kind of sounds like it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's meant to be.
They do that a lot in Star Wars, though.
That's very true.
It's like a trope. Hope you like tentacles, boy.
It's funny you mentioned the thing with Vader and Luke. God, such a cool shot.
Yeah, because it looks like a model, right? Actually, I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it's CG, or it could be a model. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Bum, bum, bum.
It's just
impressive.
Just so cool. I mean, it's awful, but it's so cool.
Oh, come on. Galaxy at War. I always played the Empire.
If they had just consistently had him reflected through a window.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Like
or
this,
just had a stand. I mean, the guy they actually had an actor that they overlaid. They could have literally just used him. Mm-hmm. It would have been fine. They could have just been like, "You're Tarkin." Yeah, like, "Yep, I'm Tarkin." Anyway, here's some more movie.
And it's just alien looking. The Leia at the end, I thought was fantastic. I didn't think that was too bad.
She's got the gloss like he does, only it's smoother.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a smooth gloss, like freshly out of the package or something.
Had to open the action figure.
Yeah,
it's no longer mint in box.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he just doesn't look. Yeah, he doesn't look real.
No.
But I do appreciate that they did reach out to like the family or whatever. It was like, can we please use him? Instead opposed to instead of just owning his image or just doing it anyways.
Right. But no, if they had continually had him as a reflection.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fine.
It would have hidden it. Yeah, it would have hidden it, and it would have also added he is a He is a ghostly
Or just
presence.
a freaking hologram. I know that's done to death. Is just hologram, but just you could have just done a hologram. I mean, or just
Yep.
backed it out a little, like had him not so integral to the plot because, of course, yeah, Grand Moff Tarkin is pretty big in episode 4 and integral to the machinations or whatever of the whole Death Star, or whatever. Are they on Coruscant?
Probably. There's not. I mean, there can't be that many Metropolis planets. Just based on. I don't know, man. I just work here.
Does his wife always just have like resting sad face? Like,
I think so.
Poor woman. Bogalut.
It reminds me a lot of Alien, the original Alien.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just the way like it's shot and looks, just the color palette.
Yeah, the lighting too, and it's kind of claustrophobic.
It somehow looks more like a 70s sci-fi film than Star Wars does.
Yeah, and that's sometimes maybe because it's just been through so many re-edits and remasterings.
Right.
Like, even us who grew up on the VHS haven't seen the original Star Wars film.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Star Wars is since like the first re-release in theaters, it was edited.
Since time immemorial, George Lucas has had his hands in the pie.
And this is why I say we're 20 years out. We're over 20 years out. We deserve a prequel special edition.
Sure. I mean, I guess. Yeah, we've talked about it. I wouldn't say no. It wouldn't be first on my list, but... And everyone's like, oh, that's not possible. Star Destroyer. And I was like, whatever. It's cool looking. And yeah, they do that. Okay. It's called fucking repulsor lifts. I don't know. Space shit.
It's technology. That's how things work.
Yeah. What do the little cylinders do again? He's got little cylinders.
I think they're like USB. I honestly think it's like a USB.
Yeah, they just like plug them in. They got the little kind of analog
R2D2
analog ports that R2D2, R2D2. What's that droid's function? I know they're like Empire droids.
They're like combat droids.
Oh.
I think
it's pretty cool.
They show up they now show up in video games as as hard antagonists.
Yeah, I mean they almost look like precursors to what are they, Death Troopers, or were they
Dark Troopers?
I'm an idiot. Yeah, Dark Troopers. Oh my God, it's Cthulhu.
And I mean it's hidden in shadow, so it looks better.
Yeah. So what does this scene tell us, Lucas?
It tells us that Saw Gerrera is insane.
It tells us that he's really into some weird hentai shit. He's really got the market cornered on like insane people ever since he did The Last King of Scotland. I just never looked at him the same.
Crunchy robot, interesting masks, squids,
more tentacles for some reason. Oh yeah, this is the part I think I've talked about how much I hate.
What I hate about it is how bad Dr. Evazan looks.
I mean, Ponda Baba also looks terrible as well. Look how big his head is.
Yeah, but that's not as noticeable to me.
Well, it's still bad. Look at that stupid helmet.
I'm not saying it's bad.
I mean, some of the costumes and design is great, but some of it is also very bad, yes. And also
So
almost
Star Wars.
added in last minute. Yeah.
I mean, that's the point of not the point of Star Wars, but part of the appeal is it looks weird.
I know, but I mean,
And
scenes
there's
like
really
that
good looking
is.
stuff next to terrible.
I
Yeah.
want to say, did I see that? I'm pretty sure I saw this in theaters, of course. And it's just like it's one of those moments specifically put in so the dumb idiot in the theater goes, "Hey, I know who that is." And it's like, shut up,
That's very true.
shut up. We all know who that is. If you don't know who that is, get the hell out of here. Just kidding.
Why are you here? This is a movie for you already.
Yeah. I'm unloving, uncaring. Oh, here we go. Here's my boy.
Yeah.
You ever seen Ip Man?
I have a long time ago.
Yeah, it's freaking. I love Ip Man.
I do love the idea that I honestly expected him to be a secret Jedi the whole time.
He kind of is.
But,
I mean, he was a caretaker of the temple or whatever, and something, right?
And I appreciate that he didn't turn out to be secret Jedi. I'm a little disappointed, but at the same time, I'm also really glad.
What?
It's a very confusing feeling.
Well, it's a great way of having a Jedi in a movie who's not a Jedi, right? And that's kind of what I don't want, right? Is just another movie about a Jedi and the Force. But this is a way of having the Force and not beating us over the head with it, like it always is.
Mm-hmm. Also, are they supposed to be an item, or is it just like a really intense friendship?
And what do they say? Like, when in film is there ever just a good representation of just two platonic dudes having emotions for each other? Which I'm all for.
Because there's not. Yeah, no, I want that too.
And if they are, then they are. Who knows?
Exactly.
Also, they had to invent the whole trooper for this, of course. So there's the tank trooper dude that somehow have even shittier armor than bog standard stormtrooper.
Yep. Because what we need in Star Wars is tanks, because this is a war film. Tiny dude.
Kaboom.
Is that Warwick Davis? That's probably Warwick
It's
Davis.
safe to assume. Oh yeah, he's got like a sawed-off like M16 looking gun for his main weapon. I just noticed. Oh no! Yeah, this is, I guess, the apocalypse now.
Exactly.
M-I-C-K-Y-M-O-U-S-E. Or that's Full Metal Jacket, sorry.
Creepiest part. Yeah, that's the creepiest part of that whole movie. I like that thing looks like it could have been a toy.
Yeah.
Like it would have been something from, again, the 70s as a toy.
Looks like a G.I. Joe toy that I had.
Yes.
Oh no.
I do like how small this film feels as well.
Yes. I mean, they're definitely big stakes.
Right.
But
it's so
self-contained.
on the ground. There's not... Yeah.
Fucking Wampa looking thing.
There's not a... yeah. There's not like... what am I trying to say? There's not a big space battle.
No. Well, there is one, and it's probably arguably one of the best Star Wars space battles.
True. But it's the end piece of it.
Yes. If they build up to it, it's earned. It's not just like, hey, freaking asteroids and millions of Star Destroyers with super lasers on them. Inexplicably.
And then millions of ships. Yes.
Yeah, she like rocks these guys' world.
Yep.
Again, it would have been like, oh yeah, how'd you learn how to do that? I guess it's Saw Gerrera or something. Oh no, killed Alan Tudyk, you bastard. Oh, never mind.
I do feel like they should have marked him somehow that, in a way that wouldn't be too obvious.
Right. Well, the other ones have the Imperial symbol on them, I think.
Well, he has them on his shoulders.
Does he?
On his pauldrons.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. The Imperial cog.
Boom, 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 boom. Keep your distance. He's got like
Don't look like you keep your distance.
he's got like a kind of a Hoth jacket on. I just noticed. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hate that trope when it's like, oh, they found us out. Now I have to improvise and act like I'm belong, and they just it's so awkward and contrived. It's like
Yeah, no, it is very frustrating.
It's like, I love you, Alan Tudyk, and you're just reading lines you're reading, but you're a droid.
They're not great lines.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Yeah.
But I mean, again, Star Wars.
I know some people don't like some of these characters, and I don't know, but I think he's freaking badass. I'm falling for him.
Yeah, this is great. I didn't even know Donnie Yen was in this movie until I went to see it. I'm like,
I might have seen the trailer. I try to stay away from trailers,
yeah.
especially with these types of movies, but okay.
You can stop shooting. Your buddy is already dead. He's very dead.
Already dead.
Poke him in the
I
belly.
think it's really stupid. It's like he's blind. It's like no shit. Thanks for calling that out for us dumb viewers. He's just like,
Yeah.
It is a fun duo.
Yes, it is. I am always a fan of the grumpy one loves the sunshine one.
Yeah. Ruthless.
I picked up Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Of
course you did.
And I love that because it's great, it's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You would hate it or you would love it. There's no in between.
Yeah. Probably hate it just because I have a love-hate relationship with Lego Star Wars.
Oh yeah, well there's close to 2,000 collectibles.
Yeah, I would kill myself, but anyway, continue.
It's specifically the mainline 9 Star Wars films and character packs from everything else.
Gross.
And so I'm just waiting for the Rogue One to drop just to play as these guys.
Wait a minute. So he's saying he killed his friends, but I thought they tried to save them. I don't remember what happened. I think
they're all struggling.
Well, I think something blew up and killed their friends, and
right.
I didn't like that.
It's just a neat shot to have a Star Destroyer in atmosphere.
Yeah, you don't see it a lot.
I mean, they do there's a great sense of scale in this movie.
Yeah, did you ever hear about the birds? Why artists put birds in pictures? Is to give a sense of scale. So that's why they had the little TIE fighters next to it to show how freaking massive it is.
Well, I mean, perspective is everything.
That's what she said. Sorry. Amelie.
I don't even know what that.
Amelie, sorry, I don't know.
Was there just one door designer?
Yeah, I think we said that about the Greats and the Stormtrooper armor.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives us a sense of continuity, but at the same time, it's baffling in canon. It's like, why is everything just one thing? Because it's space communism, maybe somewhere, and it's one producer. That's one ugly Twi'lek. Holy shit.
I don't know if that's space communism or space capitalism.
Well, maybe monopolistic capitalism. So,
True.
capitalism.
Exactly. Is that guy just carrying C4 in his arm?
Probably.
Because that's what it
He's
looks
probably
like
using
to
it
me.
as armor. Supposedly it's very,
A blade of
very
armor.
stable.
Right. You didn't think to check his ankle?
Nah. Nobody's good at their jobs in Star Wars, Lucas.
I forgot that. I forgot that that's very true.
Damn, that's deep. Donnie in.
And I like that they're playing an analog version of space chess.
Yes. I always want to call it Dejaric, is that right?
I don't know. You're more of a Star Wars lore person than me.
Been out of the game a long time. I'm gonna be too harsh here, but yeah, I was right, Dejaric. Um, her acting is a little flat. uh, I mean, it's not bad. It's just she's always kind of one
Flat.
tone.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think with
But
a
I
lot
mean,
of Star Wars, it comes down to the dialogue, and she doesn't do a terrible job.
but
I
no,
just
and she also
wish
was,
she
you
had,
know, child soldier.
yeah, and I just kind of wish, yeah, she got a little more play in these movies or any movie. I don't know. It's like she's got the one shot, obviously.
Well,
but
yeah, I was gonna say she could. She survived the Death Star blowing up. Well,
they could do like a Cassian Andor type of thing for her.
mm-hmm. He's such an interesting choice. No. I mean that like he's such an interesting choice of like an actor to play because and all of his acting choices are really fascinating because they're so like I'm trying to think of the right word. It's so pained.
Yeah, and he's clearly doing a voice, but it's not like Christian Bale Dark Knight voice. It's not comical, but it's fitting, right? It fits the character.
Right.
And it's kind of neat in a way, right? Because it's like, yeah, the Rebel Alliance we knew from the mainline movies. It's like, yeah, it's like pure in their mission and their morality,
Execution,
and they've got the Phoenix, and it makes perfect sense. But here you're like, these guys are clearly treading a line, right, between madness or terrorists and I don't know, freedom fighters.
Of course, there would be splinter group. Yeah, and of course there would be splinter groups.
Yeah, and it totally makes sense, right? And it, like you said, it kind of shows a grittier side of things.
It's funny because the Tarkin Doctrine is a manifesto.
son of a bitch. He's like, I ain't putting down these goggles, though.
I need these goggles because I've gone crazy.
These goggles, they do nothing.
One thing I don't like about the guy playing Cassian is he seems to be very breathy. I mean, I do appreciate his accent, but he also seems to whisper a lot. And this is very... I don't know, it's hard to describe what bothers me.
He's really intense, I guess. Like he's...
I love that this is the same shot.
Yeah. Boom.
I remember one of the things that I remember reading about, and it's frustrating with the whole Star Wars saga, is that all of our female protagonists, our mainline female protagonists, for lack of a better term, like the primary one, is the same character. And they're all, short, generically cute brunettes. And it is a problem that, Star Wars has, which is unfortunate.
Like to see some redheads in there, would you?
I mean, I would like to see...
Women of color, yeah.
Yes. Well, not even... Yeah, like women of color are different shapes. It's just... Star Wars has a... Fiction has a problem.
Well, they have
Let's rephrase that.
Well, maybe, George Lucas / Disney have a type. Or maybe it's like a focus group thing. I don't know. It's a weird... Either weird coincidence or a weird choice.
Yeah, it's just, it's... Leia and Padme make sense because they're, related. But then you've also got Kira and Rey and Jyn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about Ahsoka, though? What would you consider Ahsoka? Technically, she was in a movie,
true.
Right?
Yeah, that's technically true. You're right.
Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
The best kind of correct. I do like the fact that it gives an eclipse. That is a really cool shot. That
Total eclipse of the heart. Oh no. Forrest Whitaker's like, you know what? You go. I'll just peace out, man.
Yeah.
Just 'cause.
I mean, this is also another problem that Star Wars has.
To be like targeting wampas back in your T-16.
You mean womp rats, not wampas?
What did I say? Yeah, that's what I meant.
You said wampas. No, I know.
You could still shoot wampas because they're fucking bastards.
Huge, yes. What's frustrating, and it's the same thing that all Star Wars has, is that it's its need to explain everything.
Yeah.
They had to explain why there was a flaw in the. It couldn't have just been Imperial hubris or just an accident or the ingenuity of people.
Yeah.
There had to have been someone building a flaw, and why was there a thermal reactor vent?
Yeah.
Well, that kind of makes sense.
I mean, yeah, this whole movie could have just been about getting the plans, right? It didn't have to be about this whole subplot, but then you have to construct something.
Humanize it.
And, develop characters and things, I mean, which you could have. You really don't need the Jyn Erso, Galen Erskine thing, but...
Right.
You could still have that and just make it about the plans, right? It's like, go get the plans. But I guess it makes him redeemable. I mean, here I am explaining the obvious, but...
Exactly.
Before it's too late.
You can't fight.
Yeah.
You can't fight an earthquake.
I got this. Taking him down. Oh no. He's just like,
Where have I seen that guy before?
yeah. I'm sure he's been in things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's get out of here. For sure.
Yeah, let's make a run for it. Ships were so hard to use in squadrons. The U-Wings.
Yeah, I never flew one. I didn't really get that far in that game. Anyway, so this guy's name is Baze Malbus, right? That character, who's played by
Yes.
Zheng Wen.
Mm-hmm.
What has he been in? Nothing I've seen.
He just looks familiar to me, and I don't know why.
Well,
He could have just...
it's funny because, yeah, he doesn't normally sport the beard. Oh, he's been in some Chow Yun-Fat movies. Or at least one. Looks like a lot of Chinese...
This is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, it just... You get to see the devastation on a smaller scale, which makes it bigger.
Yeah, it was a little silly, right? It's like, oh my god, we're not gonna make it. I mean, you gotta have one of those moments, right?
Right. It's Star
the
Wars.
odds thing. It's like, yeah, it's impossible, but never impossible.
I mean, it really sells it that this is a monstrous super weapon. And it's like the, atomic bomb. I mean, not like we haven't seen Alderaan destroyed.
I love how much of a bastard Tarkin is. He's the best.
Yeah. He's even a bastard in Clone Wars. It's great. And like he becomes Anakin's friend, and it's really funny. Like, why is Anakin keep being friends with all of these assholes?
Right.
Someone should talk to him.
Yeah. He sees the good in everybody. Although, arguably, I don't think Tarkin has any good in him.
No. I mean, the guy playing him does a really good job of playing.
They name him Eridu. That is an actual planet, is it not? There's Eridu.
I do not know.
Edu. Maybe that's the same thing. I don't know. The mustaches we ordered are going to be delayed. What?
No, this is like the only time you get an actual communication from from like a long distance communication. You know?
Mm-hmm. Like a ham radio.
Yes, because it's a war film.
Space.
I'm gonna take my goggles off, even though I don't need
That's
them.
how fucking serious it is right now, Lucas. That's how serious the scene is. He's taking off his goggles. Anyways, apparently Dave Filoni is in here somewhere.
Where's his cowboy hat?
No. I don't know if he's got like an uncredited stormtrooper cameo, probably.
Stormtrooper wearing a cowboy hat.
Dave Filoni reprises his role as C-110P, which is apparently from Rebels. Okay. Sure.
Cool.
I trust you on that. Chopper. I think I know that. Yeah, actually. Never mind.
I haven't gotten to Rebels yet. I'm on the last season of Clone Wars.
Weren't you on the last season of
I
Clone
stopped
Wars the last time we spoke?
Yes, I stopped watching Clone Wars because I started watching Star Trek. There's certainly no... the Death Star. That's for good purposes.
It's like, really? The Death Star? Who was the marketing guy that cooked that one up?
So I've got some notes.
Apparently this movie made $1 billion.
That sounds about right.
I don't know if that... I mean, that's not net, but I think it's... Wow, yeah, it's only like 200, 265, so if you double it, which they say you're supposed to do for marketing, it's like... So it made about 500 million, probably, net.
Well, it was the first Star Wars story that we got.
Was it?
And then we were supposed to get more. Yeah, it came out before Solo.
Well, I mean, there was Force Awakens, right? That was, what year? At the same year, right?
Yeah, but...
Wasn't it the same year?
No, it was the year before.
Yeah.
It was the year before. But we got... This came out, and it was supposed to be like... What I thought the original plan was mainline Star Wars movie, Star Wars story. Mainline Star Wars movie, Star Wars story.
Swelling music. Apparently the guy they got to do the music only had like 4 months to do the music or something insane like that.
Yeah. It's not great compared to, John Williams, but it's like a toddler fighting Mike Tyson.
Other than that one swelling spot, it's not, it hasn't been like, oh yeah, it's just Edu. That's silly. Anyway, it hasn't been distracting too much, which I guess is the best you could hope for.
Right. He is a pilot.
The droid or the human?
The human. They could give it to the pilot.
That's true. Oh, yeah, the pilot. Well, he might pilot something stupid. I think he just pilots, like, transport crafts, but I guess he has done this run before, so yeah, why doesn't he freaking do it? Yeah, there is a planet just called Eridu. Anyway, I'm not gonna get hung up on it.
If there can be multiple desert planets, then
it's actually where Tarkin is from. Weird.
Even though he speaks with a Coruscant accent.
Does he? Is that what the British?
I think that's what.
God,
that's why.
He's so loud. Is that why? So you're saying that's why most of the human
everyone
has the okay.
Yeah, it's like how for lack of a better term, New York English is default American English. Yep. And it's because it's the culture, not necessarily the cultural center, but it's at least the pop cultural center of the world of the Americas, or at least of North America.
Makes sense. I want a Star Wars movie where everyone just speaks like Yoda.
In the past?
Yes.
Yeah. I want a Star Wars movie that's a submarine movie.
Das Boot.
Yes.
Yeah, this planet was, of course, made up just for this movie. Why did I ever doubt that?
Yeah, and that's fine.
Is it fine? There's so many
it's fine.
Well-established moons and planets, and asteroids.
It doesn't.
All right.
Well, that's also that's a callback. It's once again a callback.
Well, it's just messes with my head, right? Like Jin Urso, and I've mentioned this before, is like that's very close to
And Janors.
Janors, and then there's Edu, which is literally a letter or two away from Iridu. I guess it's two.
Right.
But boohoo, shut up, Matt. It doesn't matter.
It's just watch your stupid sci-fi film.
I
No.
just just my primitive monkey brain tries to make connections, you know, and it's like, ugh.
No, I get it, and that's probably why I made that connection of Jeddah and Jedi.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't remember that the first time watching this, but
Yeah.
I do this time. I mean, if they needed to, I mean, they couldn't. They did that in Force Awakens, but like, didn't Ilum become Starkiller Base?
Did it?
That's what I thought the thing was. That's why it was a planet super weapon, because all the kyber crystals were already there, and it was just one giant kyber crystal.
Was a military base located on the... Yeah. Wow, okay. Well, fuck that planet, I guess.
Good luck rebuilding the Jedi Order now.
Yeah, that's funny.
This is very alien. The color palette right now, very. But that could just be, again, 70s sci-fi.
Yeah, and if memory serves, this is one of the weird plot... I wouldn't say it's a plot hole, but it's just kind of a silly plot convenience.
Mm-hmm. Or they just, yeah.
Or basically the rebels, like, blow up her dad or something. I forget what exactly happens. Just light up my face here.
I mean, if we'd had more of a build up to her, it would be more of an emotional swelling. But we haven't had that, unfortunately.
Right. You just have these flashbacks, and then she sees her dad for 2 seconds, and then whoops,
Dies in her
now
arms.
she wants to be a rebel, and
yeah, a full-time rebel.
somehow she's inspiring and has inspiring things to say, even though not really. Like remember, like everyone just has to believe that she saw these things or whatever, right? Because she doesn't have the recording, so she has to like inspire people to go and get the plans. And I don't know. I don't find her very inspiring.
Well, that's the writing.
Yeah, I'm not blaming Felicity Jones or whatever.
Right.
Incoming.
Let's look like stones.
Bodhi Rook. All the names in this are pretty good. Like Director Krennic.
It's such a bad sounding name. It doesn't.
Consonant heavy.
It's not pleasing to say. Yeah. Me and my cape.
Gots to have the cape.
It's taken after Lando. I'm gonna kill the engineers. Cause why? That's something that I wish we had gotten more time on, is how the timeline of the Death Star being built. Because that is I mean, it's got to be mostly hollow, right?
Yeah, maybe. I like all these, all the dudes looking like Harkonnens. They need to have their heart plugs pulled out. What Director Krennic needs is his own Bogullet. Tentacle monster.
So did they all get the memo to come out on?
Yeah, they rehearsed this.
What? She was telling the truth all along. I mean, it's really, yes, that's totally an AR.
Yeah.
Um, but like
So superfluous
the
there,
Imperial,
even
like
in the space many years in the past. Oh no.
what's the point?
I don't know.
The like the Imperial fascist dictatorship can't be efficient. I mean, if you're constantly killing off people.
What do they say about the Germans that the trains arrived on time, which is actually factually incorrect? They were actually very
Mussolini did.
actually they really did not arrive on time. So
Mm-hmm.
fascism has this pretense that it's efficient, but it's in reality not at all.
Yes.
Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Can't reach them.
Is this the only this is like the only time we see rain in Star Wars?
No. Is that true?
Like I'm trying to roll it back. Like you don't in the original trilogy. You don't in
I want to say in what is it? The last movie's called the Last Skywalker, or whatever the fuck. Pretty sure.
Rise of Skywalker.
Pretty sure it rains on that one planet. Maybe.
It might. I'm just.
But you're right.
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's very It's very
strange.
Yeah,
it does kind of feel out of place, doesn't it? I mean, it's cool, but it's.
Yeah.
Oh no. Bunch of dummies. Return fire.
We're going to use pistols against aircraft and maybe score a direct hit.
Ray shielded. Father.
Yeah.
Stupid dummies.
I love how Y-wings have become designated bombers now, even though they were, from what I remember back in my old days, pushing up my glasses on my nose. They were just fighters that became obsolete because they were so slow, but they could take a beating, so they became bombers. But now that's like, oh, they were always a dedicated bomber.
Is that true? I want to say in the maybe it's Rebels. Yeah, again, call back to a show neither of us seen, but I think they kind of showed the progression of these kind of hey, they're the only things available, but they're pretty reliable and superfluous or whatever.
They're hardy. Yeah.
Oh, Donnie Yen.
Because Donnie Yen needs an anti-material rifle.
He's just like, yep.
But it's a crossbow, so it's okay, and I'm blind.
And then they just leave anyways. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So technically, yeah, the rebels do totally kill her dad. Even though Ben Mendelsohn was going to.
Exactly. Lambda shuttles. Except that's not a Lambda shuttle.
I know, there's so many pseudo lambdas these days, I can't even keep track of them all.
Are wings even needed?
Sure. Coolness factor, man. fairly hard to believe, like, how many years have passed, decades, and he couldn't have managed to escape. But I guess
Right.
his idea is like, well, maybe they would have just found somebody else to do the work, and he can do some good, I guess.
This way I can put a flaw in it.
Yeah. Or at least motivate them to go find the plans, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. It's evocative of the music's evocative of Star Wars, but it's still not quite there. And it's just frustrating. And more troopers.
Oh, the movie I was thinking about with Matt Mikkelsen was not 13th Warrior, it was Valhalla Rising, which is even more of a mindfuck. That movie was great.
I've never seen it.
You gotta see it.
I've wanted to.
I won't hype it up because it's definitely not a movie for everyone. It's kind of just a trip.
Again, we just needed more character development. Like, I feel like this should have been its own small three-part trilogy.
Maybe, or
and I'm coming back to just wanting more of my fiction to be long form, like television.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is something that could have very easily been a TV show,
Okay.
and I'm glad they tested the waters with these two movies. This and Solo, and we're like, yeah, maybe these standalones aren't going to work, which they're definitely could have made them work. They just wouldn't have been like billion-dollar movies every time, which isn't good enough, obviously, for Disney. So now they have to pad out, their subscription service, and they're like, what better way to do that than with, pretty low cost, I would assume fairly low cost, I have no idea, films, because they have all the back projector technology that makes filming, even during the pandemic, pretty easy.
So much easier, yeah.
And it's amazing, too, which is great, but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if it maybe fewer characters and just focusing more on these two. I'm kind of glad they didn't really make them too much of a love interest type thing. Even, I mean, at the end you get the embrace or something, but that's more of like, oh, we're fucked type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I love all these movies, you know why? Because they take a movie like this, right, which is pretty dour and depressing, and I don't know, it tackles themes of like, at what lengths lengths will you go for a cause, right? Like, how much of yourself will you give up,
right?
For the greater good, right? All the themes of war and all those movies and things, and yet they market it all for kids and stuff. Like, we're gonna make a show about Cassian Andor, and they have action figures galore. I mean, it's just like, wow, they made RoboCop action figures and Saturday morning TV shows.
Yes. Why don't we get a Mustafar tag?
Just shut up. Don't ask, because it's not important. But you're right. And that was another thing. Is just, I think I said this at the beginning. There's just too much jumping around.
Yeah, but like, they've given a tag for every planet.
I mean, this
except this one right now.
Super cool, and I would never, complain. Well, I'm complaining right now, but I would never want them to take this away, because I don't know.
Right.
It's just cool, but I guess that's the thing, right? It's like you have, if you want the other, you can't have it both ways. If you want a story with characters and stuff, that means giving up, and this is totally the fan service part.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a little bit of a glimpse, like, oh no. trailer fodder right there, probably. Although I don't know if this was something that was filmed later.
I don't know either. I don't know if this was in the trailer.
Ugh, pretty messed up if it was. I do know though.
Yes.
The ending bit with Vader is totally a last minute ad, which again, 100% no, it's
awesome.
Fan service,
yeah.
But I don't care. So anyway, and I can see why, directors and Disney folks are just like, how the hell do we please people? And at the end of the day, you can't please everybody because you got competing wants and interests. And as long as it's a Star Wars movie and it's not terrible.
I love how this Vader costume looks bad because it looks like the Vader costume from the original.
Oh, yeah. All leather.
Like, it's not... It's all leather,
it's like
and the mask is above the cape.
It's matte, too. It's not, like, completely shiny. Although it's pretty shiny. I liked in the original how you could see, like, fingerprints on the mask.
And it's even got the red lenses, which is... It's just really it's a really great callback because it doesn't look great. It looks like the New Hope costume.
It's like talk about a meeting that could have been an email, Mr. Vader.
Yes. And also, it is a little sad that James Earl Jones does sound tired.
Yes, it sounds like Vader, but it sounds like a tired Vader.
Yeah. Look, I just woke up.
I just got out of the bath.
That is true.
The Emperor is coming here?
Try not to choke on your aspirations. It's a great line.
Does Vader usually get that punny, though? It's kind of...
It's perfect.
It's kind of hammy, though. I mean, yeah.
Well... It's dumb, but you know what? I don't care.
I don't know. Vader was very... verbose there, more so than he usually is.
But he's a lot more verbose in A New Hope.
Yeah, it's fair. The Vader I love the best is the Vader from the comics, which I know is stupid, but the Darth Vader in like the Ghost Prison and all those comics are really good, and it's like just shows how much of a badass he is. But it's really not a story about him. It just shows him as like a background piece. And he's just like and he's just like quiet and just like evil.
That's like probably my favorite bit of Vader. Minor spoiler for a game that came out 2 years ago, but Fallen Order. He's the final boss.
You spoiled it, Lucas. Yeah,
I know, right?
Well, I mean, he's the final boss in like every Star Wars game. He was the final boss in Force Unleashed, maybe twice even. I don't even remember.
Yeah. But it's such a great build-up because I didn't see it coming, and then you're fighting the actual final boss, and it ends up with a dialogue kind of thing, a dialogue cutscene, and then you just hear the heavy breathing and the footsteps, and I can remember this very vivid feeling of just, oh no,
oh no,
like not oh shit or anything like that. It's just this very palpable sense of powerlessness.
It's like, oh no.
Because of the build up to it, because it's
like, shit, did I proc into Force Lightning?
Right. And then he doesn't have a health bar. The only thing you can do is run. It's great.
It might be a trap. See, I kind of did the thing, but I changed it slightly, so it wasn't so bad. Mon Mothma with her bowl cut, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I say we kick some ass.
There's still not enough aliens. There should be more aliens.
Whiteys, yeah.
There should always be more aliens in Star Wars.
Especially on the Rebels side. Yeah, obviously on the Rebels side.
I do also appreciate very much that Star Wars aliens are not rubber forehead aliens.
Exactly.
They actually go out of their. They have. I mean, apart from the Twi'leks, but
even the Twi'leks,
they're
there's
actually
more
alien-looking.
to it than that. Like they have this whole thing, right? On their gross thing on their head, and then other weird shit. Yeah, and all the other ones are just. And that's the fun thing is like they either have to create these really elaborate suits or they're gonna CG it, and there's time and place for each.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my friends.
Rebels.
Me and the boys want to help it. Pretty sure that guy back there is a pro wrestler. Cause
I was about to say, I think
enormous.
And his head is like a baseball. A bowling ball is what I was trying to say, but I couldn't get the word out. Is that the what's his name?
Andy Serkis?
No, not Andy Serkis, but the guy who looks like Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis?
He's been in a
Gollum?
bunch of
No, I don't know. The guy from
I don't know what.
Willem Dafoe?
No, I can't think of what else he's been in, but he's just another one of those that guys.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of that guys in Star Wars. But most of them are stormtroopers.
I kind of wish. That's very true. I kind of wish there hadn't been this much speechifying right here. They're already on board, you know?
You need a good speech, but I don't know if this is a good speech. And again, she's supposed to be like this unifying force, or this strong personality or character. At least that's what I expect of my leads in Star Wars. She kind of just feels like a conduit. Or just like a stand-in. It's like, alright. Thanks for undercutting the emotion in the scene there.
Well, that's fine. I like right there. That is a good. That wasn't. They don't undercut it too much.
It's relieving the tension a little bit, but at the same time, we don't know what's about to happen. Or it's like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be the swelling. Like, let's get him. And then Alan Tudyk comes in. Hello, I'm Alan Tudyk. I'm funny, and he is funny.
Yes, he is.
I'll be honest. The first time you would suggest, or somebody suggested Firefly to me, of course, I was like, I don't want to watch this. It's got that guy in it. And I, for some reason, I just didn't want anything to do with him. And then I watched it, and of course, just like everybody else, fell in love with it.
Yeah. And now, is it like 15 years prior, I'm like, wow, I do not like this anymore. This did not age very well.
You don't like Firefly anymore? I mean, it's alright.
Not really.
Is it just because you don't like Joss Whedon anymore?
Well, no, it's not. That's part of it, but it's also like I don't know. Of course, it was so good because it didn't have a chance to be bad.
It's fair, but at the same time, I don't know. What got me about it is like the characters were likable, which is good. The writing was okay, and it was cheaply made, which isn't necessarily a good thing. And it had some interesting little quirks to it, but by and large, there were some just weird, kind of cringy Joss Whedon moments, Joss moments, as I will call them now from this point forward, which is just like this weird kind of earnestness, and I don't know. You're just like, okay, everyone's a Joker. Everyone doesn't need to be the Joker.
No.
Not the literal Joker, but you mean like the comic relief. Because my God, would I not want to watch a whole show full of Jokers? That would be terrible. Okay, Jimmy Smits. See ya. It's confirmed canon that Jimmy Smits doesn't make it off of Alderaan, right?
Right. Yeah. I know, it sucks.
Someone stole his droids to boot. I guess that was... what's his face? Captain Antilles.
Yeah, Bail Antilles and Bail Organa.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first saw this, I didn't think his name was going to be Cassian. I thought he was actually going to be Biggs, because he looks like Biggs.
It's a little Biggsy.
From the original movie.
Biggsy.
Yeah. This is also a super cool set piece. The shield hole.
Mm-hmm. Choke point.
Mm-hmm. I can build a lightsaber.
She's calling for the inner power of her J.O. crystal.
This is a very vest movie. Very vest heavy movie.
Hey man, vests were in back then. Also, I'm pretty sure I knew a kid who wore a vest like that many moons ago.
Oh, I'm sure I did too. I think for a time I was that kid.
Maybe. I'd say like the costume designer might have just stopped by the local thrift store and just picked up a bunch of shit. I think security would have been a little tighter, but
Yeah, I think so too.
it's alright. It's
But
alright.
I mean, that's part of the Imperial thing, is hubris.
Yeah, and you know, again, fascism isn't necessarily mean that anyone's good at their job. They're
Smart.
just fascist.
Yeah.
We're in. Here's the speech, by the way. They're all like, oh.
I mean, a blaster would be better, but I mean, what might be an interesting like semi-sequel would be Rogue 2. No, about stealing because many Bothans died to bring us the information. Let's kill some Bothans.
Hell yeah, man. Any chance we get, kill some Bothans.
Start.
Get those strippers away from
I mean,
us.
have we even seen Bothans in canon?
Probably in the background somewhere, but no, not really. I just know there's some weird furry looking creeps.
And they're short.
And they're assholes. Like their culture's just full of assholes and intrigue. That's why it's like if you ever heard of the Russians and their compromats or whatever. Like everyone
Yes.
just has shit on everybody
Compromise.
for political gain.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so good at spying, because they're all just bastards. We're all fine here now.
Well, fine. How about you?
Knock knock, inspection time. Yeah, this ship is pretty neat.
Mm-hmm. And it does the Imperial, steam as the door
This
opens.
movie has a lot more yellow than all the other movies, you notice? They even have like hazard
Mm-hmm.
symbols or hazard stripes. Wom, 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 wom.
some of the CG in this isn't great. Looking at it, it's not the best.
What do you
Although,
mean?
I don't know what I expect.
You mean that last shot?
Yeah, that last shot wasn't great.
Yeah, I kind of just zoned
And
out a little bit, so.
And also, what the Vader's temple wasn't like. The interior of Vader's temple wasn't great either.
Are you saying ILM is not doing a top-notch job, or up to the snuff of creating well-constructed Star Wars movies anymore? I mean, they still do all of this, right? Or they just farm it out? I don't know.
I don't know. And I could be wrong. I mean, I could have just like, everyone's allowed, to make mistakes.
Could have just had a stroke.
I love that they cut him off. No, it's a great way. Like, this isn't your daddy's Star. Not, I hate that phrase, but this isn't like a normal Star Wars film. They cut the phrase off. And now we're in Vietnam.
I was gonna say they need to be playing some Credence.
Fortunate son.
Made the way of the flag.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look terrible. It looks kind of like a video game, but
Yeah.
yeah, the front of that ship looks like ass. It's just a triangle.
I do appreciate that the Imperial stuff doesn't look as used, and it's a lot cleaner looking than the Rebellion stuff.
Yeah, going back to, it's definitely a better lit movie because everything's very bright.
Yes. Oh man, I love that. That it looks like, again, it looks like the stuff. It looks like an old Star Wars movie.
I like when it looks like the stuff, Lucas. The stuff is.
I know. I'm sorry. I keep saying
the stuff is good. No, I agree. Also, Donnie Yen has like a. Is it a wooden staff? I guess space wood.
Just gonna stick.
Blunt instruments.
Space wood is apparently better than a giant gun.
Probably. Just like break at the helmet. Yeah, why are you conveniently plot-wise here?
Yeah, you could just. This could have been an email.
He's a very hands-on manager, though. He certainly doesn't like to delegate.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, as we're about to see. Look at all this waist-high cover, Lucas. Convenient waist-high cover.
Oh man, it's almost like it's almost like there's gonna be a boss fight soon.
It's like Operation Winback. Did you ever play that game?
God, that was great. Game was great.
I tried to replay it once, and I was like, wow, rose-tinted glasses, man. Go back to play some of those old games. Still, I mean, yeah, it was like one of the first cover shooters I ever played.
Mm-hmm. And had like 40 different characters playable in multiplayer, which was interesting, even though they all played the same.
Yeah, just guy with gun, crouching. What's that? Sorry, sons of bitches.
Explosions everywhere. And those guys ran fast.
Yeah, that's like miles, isn't it?
It's
like a mile or something. It's like, am I the only capable person?
So are those guys like special sand troopers?
They're like beach troopers.
Do they just
I don't know.
They forget to wash their armor.
I think technically they're beach troopers or something. It's like really, there's like some beaches, I guess. It's an atoll, so I guess it's mostly beach, but at the same time,
Yeah. This is an atoll planet, which that gun should have like gone through him.
After what it did to the TIE
It
fighter.
is. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm finishing my geometry homework.
Sorry, I'm still rendering. So since it can travel and moves, is it a space station? Or is it some kind of vehicle? And if so, is that something that Ghost Rider could drive?
Possibly. It's just like Captain Buzzkill over here with the mustache.
You'd have to narrow it down. They've all got mustaches.
Except for the main guy. Maybe that's why he's so evil. He's forgot his mustache.
I mean, that guy's making up for it with that beard back there.
Nice. Going to fight. They are fighting.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I mean, this by itself would be, the fact that they got that close to Scarif, or that they landed on Scarif, would have to be a complete overhaul of Imperial everythings.
Yeah, it's funny. Supposedly those are all like their special forces dudes, and they didn't even notice them vanishing. Maybe that was mentioned.
Yeah.
Why they left? I don't know.
Also, how many rebels came with them?
Seems to be an unlimited supply. It was in that one ship. I couldn't have held that many.
Maybe like 20 people at most. But they seem to be...
But they all have sticks, Lucas.
That's true. Smart, So crunchy.
Is this when people refer to the cloud, Lucas? Is that what they mean? That big stupid room?
They mean
Someone else's computer.
On an Imperial. Yes, that is sort of what they mean.
It's the Prometheus effect.
I have to wonder why. I have to wonder why those are there, because they're, aren't those like terror and intimidation weapons? Why would you need to terror and intimidate your own planet, or at least your own your imperial base that you have on the planet?
That's a good question.
Why are Admiral Radish? I like that they got like original footage that wasn't used in the original.
Oh yeah.
In Star Wars, that's amazing.
It is super cool.
I just hope that the family got credited and paid.
I would hope so.
Yes. Why did they send transports in?
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, no, there's rebel transports.
Oh, because they're trying to back up the dudes on the planet, right? I don't know.
I suppose that makes sense.
It's too late. Aww.
I do, and the wreckage on the shield is a really cool effect.
I like how we're at the stage of like computer graphics where instead of to make things look more realistic, they're like trying to make things look shittier to to look like they were or something. I think that's pretty neat. Can't be that big.
It's fascinating that no one. I mean, technology marches on, but it's fascinating that no one uses like cell phones in the. It's like not. They're talking to like a microphone in his hand. It's not a. You know.
I do know. Yeah, it's. I want to say. Did they have? I mean, the helmets had communicators. Yeah, I don't think they really had any like handheld things. Oh damn!
Rocket launcher.
Shit! I just pissed it off. Yeehaw! I love how iconic the X-Wing is. I mean, it's an interesting design, but even my 3-year-old knows it's a Star Wars ship. I don't know if she knows it's an X-Wing, but she's like, that's the thing Daddy likes. And I'm like, yeah, good job.
And it's one of those things that, you know, in the Disney trilogy that they changed slightly that just infuriates me.
Really? How'd they change it?
Yeah, they made the wings like split apart as opposed to be
like the
separate
next
wings.
generation X-Wing-y things. You're right.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of that, but I guess it's okay for them to do something different. And I guess they do have to have like the callback.
Yes. Was it Battlestar that popularized that kind of shot of a ship, like the over the wing shots?
Yeah, like there's almost like a camera, like a physical camera following things around, like someone with a handheld. Yeah, I don't know if they're the first to do it, but they definitely made it very popular, or did it really well. Like there's that classic shot where like like an explosion happened, the space debris like goes flying and it like almost hits like the camera, right? And the camera like spins off.
Right.
It's super cool. Did you play a lot of the original Rogue Squadron?
Yes, I did. I liked it.
I only played a little bit of it. I played, was it Rogue Leader a lot more for the GameCube?
Mm-hmm. We played a lot of that in college.
Yeah. I think I finally, quote-unquote, beat it, or finished it. Oh, God. Why are we so weak and frail?
I'm gonna use your buddy as a weapon.
They like barely touch them to one another. They're like the poor guys just are like underfed and don't do any calisthenics or anything.
No.
That's right.
Did they deep fake the voice, or did they just happen to say Shieldgate in the original?
I think they must have changed it. Seems. Oh damn! They just finally launched TIE fighters, or more fighters, I guess. Man, I love good space battles. I know that's an obvious thing,
no, I'm a
and it's nothing like that hard, right? It's just like, I don't know. Don't make it so jarring that you have no idea what's going on. Number one, don't make it stupidly implausible. And number whatever, just, I don't know, use it sparingly or use it well. Have it, make it, actually have it part of the plot, or
have weight to everything.
Yes, that too. I say that right. For Jeddah, what? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I know the rebels like to have rallying calls, or cries, or whatever.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Marilla.
probably a lot because it's pretty big.
Oh, hey, that's why there's Red. That's why Luke's able to take Red 5.
Yeah, that's a fine. I'm fine with that sort of,
Yes.
Explanation. Oh wait, was that like a TIE scimitar? What was that? I don't think it was.
Yeah, again, I'm okay with new ships being introduced because they're not, they blew them all up when fighting this. Uh-oh, it's the beach troopers out for a party.
Another day at the beach.
One of the code names was Darksaber, which... Oh, the huts.
Yeah, that had to be one of the worst expanded universe.
Hey, Stephen Blum. Yes.
Yeah, Steve Blum is like the Stormtrooper guy. He was all the Stormtrooper voices in Empire at War. And I'm sure many other things.
Mm-hmm. Such an interesting interface, too. Like...
I mean, yeah, it was like something out of the 70s.
It's...
So analog.
You're right. Oops, we're gonna have to jump.
Oh, no.
Oh. Is sad, but,
Yeah, it is, because that was like...
was expected.
His one and only friend.
Even in the future, bandwidth.
It's those ISPs choking us with the net neutrality, Lucas. Lack thereof.
TIE Reaper, weird looking ship.
Is that what that one is? Wow.
Yeah, the big one. Like that shot there, was that like, I think that was a Battlestar shot, like originally from The first time I ever saw it was on Battlestar Galactica.
Oh yeah, the directly over the wing. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Let's run directly at them.
With no cover.
Oh, TIE Striker. Okay.
Oh, I thought it was Reaper.
Well, no, the other ones are TIE Strikers.
The other weird looking ones.
And I think you're probably right that.
Let's put back on our regular outfits.
Yeah, you're right. TIE Reaper. Yeah, I didn't know they. Not familiar.
They were pilotable in squadrons. That's the only reason I remember them.
I should revoke my Star Wars fan card. Wow, just those 2 notes, huh?
Well, I mean, it's. I'm down with it. It works.
No, it's still going though. They're getting a little louder, and there's a timpani.
Yeah, but it's increasing the hopelessness of it.
Yes, the hopelessness that they won't stop playing that music. Oh, there it is.
Oh, it's back.
I've always been a huge fan of Death Troopers, and I know that sounds terrible because, Empire, but they're just so cool.
Mm-hmm. Blaster. Pew, pew. Because that thing, I thought was supposed to be a lightsaber. You know?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe it was supposed to be. Mommy! I haven't noticed a Wilhelm scream. I think there was one, though.
Me either.
Wow, really?
He's the one with the Force, and the Force is with him.
That's true.
I'm gonna hit everything on the way down.
It's probably good. Otherwise, he would have broken something. But it's not gonna matter soon, right, Lucas?
Yeah. Okay, this is genuinely touching.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
It's time to fuck him up. Yeah, this is. I love kind of like unique, sort of just kind of different ways to have a ship's battle. I don't know what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
but and I love the proper use of ion cannons.
Mm-hmm.
Non-conventional, that was the word I was looking for, but yeah, he's just like ramming speed. Let me just swivel over.
And look down. I can hear you if I look down.
Let me just get the base in sight. There we go. But he's talking though. Okay. I don't know.
The music should be sadder. A little bit sadder, I think.
Yes, it should be a lot more dramatic.
Like an Empire, where, you're watching the Ewoks die, and it's just really
When they're going,
sad.
wow. Yes.
I'm going to shake my friend who's dead.
I think movies have definitely incorrectly taught me that just being super pissed off and tragic somehow gives you superpowers.
Makes you both invulnerable to bullets and
Crack shot, yeah.
crack shot, and you also bullets just avoid
And you just somehow go out like a badass, yeah. Goodbye.
We're gonna have to jump.
Did someone install the giant metal anus to make sure nobody... Oh yeah, here we go. I'll shut up.
This is just super cool.
Just mad lads.
I mean, it's probably a repurposed tugboat.
I mean, it just
so cool.
Like things like that, it just beats the hell out of something stupid. Like, oh, we're just friggin' light speed through them, or whatever the hell happened in whatever
It's
Last
crunchier.
Skywalker or whatever.
Last Jedi. I mean, I thought that was pretty neat.
Visually, it was neat, but conceptually, it's stupid.
We'll get there.
Well,
We'll get there.
Getting on the record now.
We'll get there. What is that blaster going to do against anything?
I don't know. I want to say there's a whole scene up here that was cut.
Yeah, because there's that scene from the trailers where she gets confronted by a TIE fighter. Oh yeah, Krennic shows up there.
Yes. Gots to have the showdown. It's too late.
I will say, as visually cool as it is, having a tiny ship push the giant ship is...
I think it makes sense. Well, number one, Star Destroyers clearly do not have, port, or they don't have left or right, thrusters. They only have back thrusters. So as long as you can reposition it, and it'll just do the rest of the work for you, Lucas. Clearly, I know what I'm talking about.
That's true.
We will finish what we started on this catwalk. GoldenEye style. Where's Crispy? Or Sean Bean. Crispy. Sean Bean. Who?
Turned down for what?
Do the tugboat guys make it?
So, was that projecting the shield or just the gate of the shield?
Little column A, little column B. Another reason the Empire is so hard to defeat is just it has all these silly mechanisms and transmitters and file systems that just make literally no sense. It takes like
Yeah.
50 guys to, or probably takes like 1,000,000 guys to maintain this one stupid literal data center.
Yes. Great shot. Just a stellar shot. I do wish we hadn't had that scene earlier of jumping of him telling him to jump to hyperspace, just so that you had that moment of being startled.
Yeah, that would have been kind of neat, but like you'd mentioned, I think they like to really explicitly tell the audience what's going on.
State things. Yeah.
Why is Grandpa so mean? Digi Grandpa.
Why is there no safety rail there? I mean, we've joked before there's no space OSHA, but
I don't think those guys, with the amount of radiation they're probably exposed to, they're probably not expected to live very long.
that's true.
He still could have jumped to hyperspace. There's no interdictor gravity well projector, Lucas. Then again, I guess he conveniently jumped right in front of them.
Right.
So they were aiming for the base, but they missed, right?
I think so.
I'm seeing a weird parallel to the water scene on Naboo with Anakin and Padme. Only, of course, this is different, much different,
Mm-hmm.
in every way. Like it almost had that same theme, but they like switched up at the last minute.
Yeah, it does. It does kind of feel evocative of it.
But you can say it took 2 Death Star blasts to kill them. Because
Yes.
they escaped the first one. Oh man, they need to have more boarding parties in Star Wars. I mean, obviously the first Star Wars movie starts with a boarding party, in a way, but so I guess it makes sense we're ending on one. These poor sons of bitches.
And this is really cool.
But yeah, it's like, okay, apparently they get the data at the back of the ship and the guy's got to run it to the front of the ship or something. I don't know. Maybe they're going to the escape pods. How did he get in here? I am a sucker for just Vader going apeshit. That's why, you know, weirdly enough, one of my favorite parts of The Force Unleashed was the first level.
With the Wookiees, yeah.
Fuck Wookiees.
Well, no, we never had a chance to see Vader be Vader until all the expanded stuff. So it's great to actually see him run, so to speak.
What do they call it? The Tanta V or something?
The Tantive.
Well, I know, but the characters in some of the... I don't know where I heard that. Maybe I made it up in a fever dream.
It's nowhere near as bad as Tarkin.
No.
No,
But if you look at the actress who the stand-in was, she looks crazily like Carrie Fisher. Oh, it's over.
Right. Well, I appreciate that it ends on hope.
Yes, after all that sadness.
No. Well, that was Rogue One.
A Star Wars story. Wait, does it have
A story. Yeah. No, I actually.
Does it have a subtitle or whatever?
Yeah, it has a Star Wars story, I believe. If it doesn't, it should. They should be churning these out, and I should be getting more Star Wars.
They should.
Because I want multi-billion-dollar. Oh, John Williams did the music for this?
No, it was based on or whatever. The other guy, the Giacomo or whatever the guy's name is.
No, multi-billion-dollar franchises should cater to my whims exactly.
Absolutely, all the time. And if they don't, then I'm going to go on the internet and complain about it.
Diego Luna, that's the guy's
I
name.
didn't know that. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
And it is Ben Mendelsohn. Yeah.
My boy Donnie Yen.
Well, as always, Matt, do you have anything you want to plug?
Stay in school, kids. That's what I want to plug today, Lucas.
All right. James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader. All right, everyone. Well, we will see you next month with, and we finally made it there, A New Hope.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. We've suffered through, or really enjoyed. I want to say I've suffered through. The only one so far has been the Clone Wars one. It was not my favorite.
Yeah. And even that wasn't terrible. No.
But again, we're all Star Wars cooks over here, so we apologists, I guess is a better phrase.
Yes. Yeah, that is 100% the best way to phrase it. All right, so everyone have a good night.